Today we will learn about inverse proportion. In the previous video, we discussed the situation when two quantities simultaneously increase or decrease in such a way that the ratio of their corresponding values remain constant. In such a situation, we say that the two quantities are in direct proportion. Now, let's look at the opposite. There is a big tank here. This tank takes 12 hours to be filled with one tap. Will it take more time or less time to fill the tank? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. Putting two taps will fill the tank quickly. That is, it will take less time. Since the number of taps here has doubled, the time will be halved. That is, 2 taps will fill the tank in 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6 hours. Similarly, if we use 3 taps, then the tank will take 4 hours. In this way, we can make the following table. Here, we see that if the number of taps increases, then the time required decreases. And if the number of taps decreases, then the time required increases. For example, when the number of taps increases from 1 to 2, the time decreases from 12 hours to 6 hours. The number of taps here has doubled, but the time to fill the tank is halved. In this way, we see that the ratio of the number of taps in terms of the first and second position and the time required to fill the tank is inverse of each other. In any case, if we multiply the number of taps and the time required to fill the tank, then the product remains a constant. If we denote the number of taps by x and the time required by y, then as x increases, y decreases, and as x decreases, y increases. But xy is always a constant. In such a situation, we say that x varies inversely with y, which we represent in this way. In this way, if xy is equal to k for two values x and y, where k is a constant and x is proportional to 1 by y, then we say that x and y are inversely proportional. In such a case, if the values of x are x1, x2, x3, etc., and the corresponding y values are y1, y2, y3, etc., then x1, y1 is equal to x2, y2 is equal to x3, y3 is equal to etc. is equal to k. Let's look at some of the day-to-day conditions where inverse proportions occurs. If a certain amount of money is to be divided, there will be a proportionate decrease in the amount of money in each part with the increase in the number of parts. In this way, the number of parts and the amount in each part will be inversely proportional. If square tiles are to be installed in a certain area, there will be a proportionate decrease in the number of tiles with an increase in the area of tiles. In this way, the area of tiles and the number of tiles will be inversely proportional. When the area of the rectangle is kept constant, there will be a decrease in the proportion of width as the length increases. Therefore, The length and the width of a rectangle with a fixed area are inversely proportional to each other. Similarly, find more situations where the inverse proportionality appears. So today we learned the properties of inverse proportion. In the next video, we will look at some examples related to it. Today we will see examples of inverse proportion. A hostel has a provision of 26 days of food items for 135 boys. If 60 more people come to this hostel, then how many days will this food item last? The quantity of food items here is fixed. In such a situation, if there is an increase in the number of boys, then the food items will also last for a shorter period of time. So here, the number of boys is inversely proportional to the number of days the food will last. The hostel has 26 days of food items for 135 boys. When 60 boys come to the hostel, then the number of boys will be 135 plus 60, which is equal to 195. Let us assume that in the hostel there will be a provision of X days food for 195 boys. If X is proportional to 1 by Y, then the values of X are X1, X2, X3, etc. and corresponding Y values for Y1, Y2, Y3, etc. respectively for X1, Y1 which is equal to X2, Y2 which is equal to X3, Y3 which is equal to etc. So, here we can say that 135 multiplied by 26 which is equal to 195 multiplied by Y2. Therefore, the number of days the food will last will be Y2 which is equal to 135 into 26 by 195 days which is equal to 18 days. In this way, if 60 boys come to this hostel, then this food item will last for 18 days. Let us now move to the next example. A farmer has to fill his rice in some sacks to carry it to the market. If he fills 30 kg of rice in each sack, then he will need 18 such sacks. If he fills 20 kg of rice in each sack, how many sacks will he need? We can represent the given information in a table like this, where the variable Y2 represents the number of sacks. Can you tell whether the quantity of rice filled in each sack and the number of sacks are inversely proportional to each other? Think for a while. Let me explain. The quantity of rice here is fixed. If the farmer increases the amount of rice to be loaded in each sack, then the farmer will need less sacks in proportion. But if we decrease the amount of rice to be filled in each sack, we will need more sacks in proportion. In this way, the amount of rice to be filled in each sack and the number of sacks are inversely proportional to each other. In the case of proportions, we can say that if X is inversely proportional, then we can say that the values of X are X1, X2, X3, etc. and the corresponding values of Y are Y1, Y2, Y3, etc. X1, Y1 which is equal to X2, Y2 which is equal to X3, Y3 which is equal to etc. So here we can say that 30 into 18, which is equal to 20 into Y2. Hence, the number of sacks required will be Y2, which is equal to 30 into 18 by 20, which is equal to 27 sacks. So today, we saw examples related to inverse proportion. In the next video, we will see some more examples related to it. Today we will see some more examples related to inverse proportion. If we make 8 parts of a field, the area of each part is 1182 meters square. How many parts of the field should be made to get the area of each part as 394 meters square? If the field is divided into 12 equal parts, what will be the area of each part? We can show the given information in a table like this, where x represents the number of parts of area 394 square meter. If a shape is divided into equal parts, then the area of the shape is divided equally into many parts. The more parts there are, the less will be the area of each part. In this way, we can say that the number of parts and the area of the parts are inversely proportional to each other. In terms of inverse proportions, we can say that 8 into 1182, which is equal to x into 394. That is, x is equal to 8 into 1182 divided by 394, which is equal to 24. In this way, the area of each part will be 394 meters square when 24 parts of the total area are made. Now let us find out the area of individual parts if the field is divided into 12 equal parts. Suppose in this case the area of each part is variable y. Since the number of parts and the area of each part are inversely proportional, so we can say that 8 into 1182, which is equal to 12 into y. That is, y is equal to 8 into 1182 by 12, which is equal to 788 meters square. You can find this result easily by looking at the table. Looking at the second and third position in the table, we find that the number of parts is halved. So the area under the inverse proportionality will be double. That is, when the number of parts is 12, then the area will be 2 into 394 meters square, which is equal to 788 meters square. Let's see the next example. Vipul leaves from his home to attend school. He starts cycling at 8:15 a.m. If he cycles at a uniform speed of 15 km per hour, he reaches 3 minutes before the start of school. But if he cycles at a uniform speed of 9 km per hour, he reaches 5 minutes late from the start of school. Find the time of commencement of the school. Let's understand this question first. Here, we are given the relation between speed and time. Suppose the time left for school to start is x minutes. In this way, when Vipul cycles at a uniform speed of 15 km per hour, he reaches the school 3 minutes earlier, that is, x minus 3 in minutes. But when he cycles at a uniform speed of 9 km per hour, he reaches the school 5 minutes late, that is, x plus 5 in minutes. Since 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, we have 15 km per hour, which is equal to 15 into 1000 meters by 60 minutes, which is equal to 250 meters per minute. Similarly, we can write 9 km per hour as 150 meter per minute. We can show this in a table form like this. We know that if there is an increase in speed, then there is a proportional decrease in time. Therefore, speed and time are inversely proportional. In case of inverse proportion, 250 into x minus 3, which is equal to 150 into x plus 5. On solving this, we will get 100x, which is equal to 1500. That is, x is equal to 1500 by 100, which is equal to 15 minutes. That is, Vipul has 15 minutes to reach the school on the scheduled time. Therefore, we can say that Vipul's school starts 15 minutes after 8:15 am, that is 8:30 am. That is, Vipul's school starts at 8:30 am. You should discuss with your teacher to find out whether it is necessary to equalize the units in this situation. These examples may have made your understanding about inverse proportion better. So today we saw some more examples related to inverse proportion.